Happy New Year! Hi, I'm Dr. Seher Roked, and I'm wishing you a happy start to 2022 wherever you are in the world. So, I thought this week I would talk a little bit about healthy habits for the new year and things to look out for. So, I made a little list. So, I would say the first thing to do over this year is for yourself, get the best health check that you can afford. Now, this could be going to your GP and asking for some bloods and a check over and a blood pressure check. This could be coming to see someone like myself and doing a full blood screen, MOT and examination. It could also be seeing me for more in-depth testing like genomic testing, vitamin and mineral testing. Whatever is in your range, I would recommend you to do. I'm not a hypocrite. I do this myself. I did the same thing last year. I spent £700 on bloods to check myself over, cancer markers, all sorts of things. I paid for a mammogram. I've booked my appointment with my gynecologist. So I definitely practice what I preach. And I'm going to, I guess, in the new year, do the vitamin and mineral screening too, because I haven't done that for quite some time. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. And the reason I recommend that is because I think you should know where you're starting from and make sure you're at a healthy point before we try and make more changes. The more we can keep a check on our health, catch things early, the better. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. The second thing I'd recommend is to really start monitoring yourself and getting to know your body. So that could be from wearing a continuous blood glucose monitor like I did last year, see what foods are causing highs and lows for me. It can be doing the period tracking app if you're still having your menstrual cycle, just keeping a note in the diary of how you feel after certain foods, energy, what's going on with things. Wearing something like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, start monitoring your heart rate, your sleep cycles, if it's changed by different foods and activity levels. So I think all of those things are really, really important. The third thing I'd recommend or just ask you to be aware of is that health is not just your physical health. It's also your mental health and your spiritual health and your emotional health. And you need to be working on all these key areas to get optimum health. Quite often I see patients and we've got the hormones in line, but like I still don't feel well. And I say to them, I think there are things going on emotionally, spiritually, and mentally that we need to work on. And some people are open to that and some people aren't. But I'm telling you now, to achieve total health, you really need to look at all these key areas and be open to exploring them in the way you can. The fourth tip is on goal setting. So I think it's really important to have a goal and purpose for the year. But what we tend to do is give ourselves unrealistic goals or too many goals. So you might go, I want to lose 20 kg this year. Well, maybe 20 kg is a bit unrealistic. Maybe you need to start with half a stone first of all. If you haven't lost half a stone in 5 years, half a stone is a huge achievement. So you've got to make your goals small. And instead of going, hey, I want to run a marathon when you're not running at all, you go, okay, I want to go out for a run 3 times this week for at least 15 minutes. That's great. That's a great start. And then we'll work up to your big goal of the marathon. But we've got to start with the small, sustainable steps. Another really interesting thing I heard is that quite often we do too many goals at the same time. We get overwhelmed. And it's important to maybe just pick 1 goal or 2 goals max per season. So you can work really well on something for 4 months or 3 months and then move on to another goal, or actually just continue going on with the goal you're currently doing that's working out well. Because quite often we overwhelm ourselves and then we don't end up doing anything. And the 5th tip is that I think you should learn about health, because we all we all know about when we're ill, disease, but actually, when was the last time you actually felt well? There's so much information these days on YouTube, Instagram, channels like myself, where you can learn about longevity, you can learn about different things to do with hormones, you can learn about nutrition, different ways of exercising. And I think just learning is really, really important. And once you learn, you can then see whether the things you've learned are going to fit in with you or not, if they're things you want to give a go. But the first step is having the knowledge. If you don't know something exists, how can you see if it's going to work in your life? So they're my 5 top tips for health in 2022. I hope you find it useful. And again, wishing you a really, really happy 2022. And I will speak to you again next week. Take care. Bye.